Hey, what's going on? It's Mr. No Shoes, Coach Tim with Creative Dynamic Sports, and I want to show you guys some exercises that you can implement at home. No equipment needed. Most of you see my videos and they're very creative. Most of those exercises are intermediate to advanced, and sometimes we don't really get all the way into the beginner exercises. So today I'm going to give you some variations that you can implement that uses no equipment, and you can do them right at home. So the first one we're going to get into is a push-up. Now, to be specific, it's a power push-up. So I'll talk you guys through, and let's go ahead and get down. So the first thing you want to do is get down on your chest, and you're actually going to raise your hands off the ground, and you're going to raise your feet off the ground. Try to straighten your legs out. Now, on ready and set, you're going to press your hands and toes into the ground and press yourself up. So let's do it again. Hands up, legs up, or toes up, and press. Okay, and you want to keep that back flat, butt down, and press, and up. Now that's a power push-up. For most people that have trouble completing a regular push-up, a power push-up is going to be the way to go. So the next exercise is a basic push-up. It's a regular push-up. Now what I like to do is when I'm doing a regular push-up, I'll try to make sure I get my chest down to the ground, and I'll also try to make sure my fingers are pointing straight ahead. My middle fingers. I'll get my middle fingers pointing straight ahead. Here, pressing down, all the way to the ground, and up. Once again, back flat, butt down, keep the core tight. Another push-up variation that you guys could do. What's up, man? Another push-up variation that you guys could do is a push-up with the shoulder tap, okay? So the next one we're going to do here, we're going to set up in push-up position. And we're going to push up, and then we're going to tap the opposite shoulder, and then press. Okay? So I'm going to do that again. All right? It's a shoulder tapping push-up. You're going to tap both shoulders and then complete another push-up. So you're going to push up and down. Push up and down. Once again, you want to keep the back flat, butt down, tighten the core. All right, so we can go ahead and move on. Let's talk about squats, all right? No equipment. First of all, you've got a regular squat. So you can come here, get your feet at least shoulder width apart. You can turn your toes out. If you want to give your hip flexors a little bit more range of motion, then you can turn your toes out, and then you just squat them down, all right? You can go as low as you want to go, or you can do a half squat, okay? So that's just the air squat. The next squat variation is you could do a squat with a pause. So you'll squat down and pause at the bottom of your range of motion, hold it for maybe 5 seconds, and then up. And then squat, hold it, and then up. So you can do squats with the pause. Moving on, you could do squats with the pulse. You could choose to do 3 or 4 pulses, 5. So we'll squat down, same position, we'll squat down here, 2, 3, 4, and up. All right, we'll squat again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. All right, so 3, 4, 5, however you count your reps, that's fine. Do what you want to do. Okay, the next squat variation that we could do is actually on the wall. So you could find a corner of a wall, or you could, a corner of a door, or you could find a wall. All right, you want to get your back all the way across, flat, hands out front, and try to create that 90-degree angle right here. All right, and you just want to sit there. Now, once again, to modify this wall sit, you don't have to go all the way down. You can kind of sit here. It's like 4s, okay? So that's another variation. All right, so that was push-ups, that was squats. Now let's talk about lunges. Let's talk about lunges, okay? So the first lunge variation that we're going to talk about is a step back lunge, okay? Now some people call it a forward lunge, all right? But we're going to do this in place because we're stationary and maybe you don't have a lot of room. So a step back lunge, you can go here, hands on your hips, hands up here. It doesn't matter, okay? But we're going to step forward and then we're going to step back. And we're going to isolate and stay on the same leg. Step forward, step back. So from the side, step here, Notice that we're trying to maintain these 90-degree angles here. The back knee should get as close to the ground without touching, okay? So once again, the step back lunge is stepping forward and then stepping back to balance. Now, if you want to alternate the step back lunge, it's going to look like this. And you're just switching legs, okay? And if you want to get more out of that exercise, you should isolate one side and then switch to the other. Next lunge variation, a reverse lunge, okay? So a reverse lunge, you're actually going to go here and then back to balance. Once again, we can isolate to make the exercise a little bit harder and really focus on that one side, okay? And from the front, here, step back, here, and step back. Do this one more time. When I step back, notice how I'm maintaining big chest, all right? I'm not here, I'm not here. Notice that the back knee is as close to the ground as possible without touching, and I've got 90-degree angles there. All right, next lunge variation is side lunge, okay? So normally when you do a side lunge, you want to make sure you kind of pick that leg up, step out, and then push back, okay? It's important that when you step out and you get here, that you push all the way back to balance, okay? You can add a high knee and step, hold, and push back. And we'll hit the other side. So, basic side lunge, just go right into it. There's no high knee, okay? Pick the knee up, step, and push back to balance. Very important that you push back to balance. In the side lunge, let's talk about the technique real quick. So if I step, I want to make sure that I'm not putting too much pressure on the patella, so I don't want to lean here. I don't want to go here. I want to find that imaginary chair that's back there. So I'm going to step, and then I'm going to take my glute, and I'm going to push my butt back there, sit in the chair, and then I'm going to push myself back to balance, okay? Next exercise variation, the curtsy lunge, okay? So we'll start off here, and then we're just going to step behind, boom, and then step back to balance. Cross behind, and then step back to balance, all right? So we'll hit the other leg. Here, boom, and then step back to balance. Same rule applies. You want to get that back knee as close to the ground as possible without touching. All right? Now we've covered push-ups, we've covered squats, and we've covered lunges. Now we'll talk about some ab exercises or some core exercises that you could do that are simple but very, very effective if you use these exercises with an interval timer, meaning that you're going to do them for 30 seconds, maybe 30 to 40 seconds on, 15 seconds to 20 seconds of rest, and you put together a circuit for yourself and you've got a nice routine. So the first ab exercise we want to do is just a sit-up. So we'll start off with a modified sit-up, all right? So here, modified sit-up, I want to take my hands behind my head and I want to actually throw myself forward. I want to create some momentum just so I can activate my abdomen and go ahead and get right into my sit-up, okay? Now, we're going to move into a regular sit-up. Now, if you guys are going to do a regular sit-up, you want to make sure if you put your hands behind your head that you're not pulling on your neck, okay? Don't pull on your neck. So what I like to do is I just like to put my hands right here, all right? And then I'll go up as far as I can, get as close to your knees as possible, and then down, okay? Up, and then down, okay? Now the next sit-up variation that you could do is you can actually add a rotation at the top of the sit-up. So I'll turn this way, okay? So I'm going to go here, up, then I'm going to rotate left, rotate right, and then down. Notice that you stay all the way at the top, rotate left, rotate right, and then down, okay? So the next ab or core exercises that you guys could do at home is going to be the Superman. So the Superman is going to be beneficial for the posterior chain, really good back exercise. You get an opportunity to activate your glutes. So let's go ahead and get into that one. So you're going to lay on your chest. You're going to stretch your arms out. You can go here or you can straighten them out over top. Now, the idea is that you want to lift your arms off the ground and you want to try to lift your knees and your feet off the ground while squeezing your glutes together, and you want to hold. You want to hold that posture 3, 4, 5 seconds and then down, all the way down to the ground, okay? And then ready and up. Squeeze those glutes, squeeze, 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 squeeze. And down, okay? Now, the longer you hold, the more efficient your Superman is going to be, the more of a burn that you're going to experience. Okay, next exercise that you could do for the abs, the core, is a plank. Well, we got to talk about the correct way to do a plank, all right? So we're going to use our elbows, okay? We want to make sure that our feet are at least shoulder width apart. We'll get our elbows underneath our shoulders. We don't want to be here with our plank, okay? If anything, you want to walk your elbows out and stretch yourself out a little bit, and you'll feel your abs starting to tighten up, okay? You want to squeeze your glutes, keep your back flat, and hold yourself in this position, okay? And then you can move on. Now, if the standard plank is too hard, you can also do this from your knees. But the same principles apply. So we got back flat, okay? So notice I'm not here with my butt, okay? I'm going to allow my glutes to squeeze, get my elbows in front of my deltoids. I want my elbows in front of my deltoids. I don't want them here. I want my elbows out front, okay? Or right underneath my deltoids, because now I can already feel my core is activated. My abdomen is activated, okay? I can lift the toes off the ground because I'm modifying, okay? And you can hold. Squeeze the belly, okay? And then you can move on, all right? So if you want to be able to hit the obliques, that side ab, which you don't really need to do a lot of weighted oblique work anyway. I mean, if you're working on your abs, the Russian twist is going to go here. You're going to lift your feet off the ground, and you just want to go down, touch the ground beside you, and you want to rotate. Now, it's important that you take your eyes and your head with your rotation, okay? Now, notice I'm not crossing my legs. If you want to make this exercise easier, cross your legs, and then you can continue, okay? And you just want to rotate. Use your interval timer. So, I mean, those are some simple exercises that you can implement into your exercise routine, or you can put those exercises into a circuit, write down 4 of them, set a timer for yourself, 30 seconds to 45 seconds, 15 seconds of rest time, and then complete, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. And then once you get better, you can go ahead and move on. You can upgrade to extra exercises. One more thing. If you lay down on your back, and most people like to do leg lifts. They want to lift their legs like this, okay? And the normal way to do this, if you're strong enough, is to place your hands beside your hips and just go here and just do knee raises. These are knee raises. So I'm raising my knees here and I'm relaxed, okay? Now let's talk about the back. When we're on our back, let's talk about the back. So a lot of times we arch and we can almost stick our hand underneath our lower back. We don't want to start any exercises like this, okay? So what we want to do is make sure that we tighten the abs first to draw the lower back to the floor, okay? Once you get the lower back and the lumbar spine on the ground or connected to the ground or as close to the ground as possible, you're ready for exercise, okay? And if you want to hold them here, just kind of hold your hands there to make sure everything is active and ready to go, you're fine. Now, if you're having trouble doing that little technique and actually getting your lower back to get to the ground, this is what you do. You're going to take your hands just like this. You're going to take your hands just like this, and you're going to place them underneath your lower back and the top of your butt. And now you've got contact with the floor. And so now you can go knee raises, okay? Or you can do leg lifts. And now you have more back support than you had before, and you can actually take your time with your exercises, okay? So that was an extra one, dealing with the lower back and doing ab exercises or core exercises while you're laying on your back. Don't forget to make sure that lower back is in contact with the floor before you start doing those exercises. Guys, I hope this has been helpful. Try some of these exercises at home, create a routine, put something together, and most importantly, have fun. I'm Coach Tim with Creative Dynamic Sports. Have a great day.